No jingle music. You know, since we actually got to the habit of that. Okay, I'll just start then with that. Welcome back to What You Say the Color Yellow. I'm Amber.
I'm Jessica.
Okay. We are here just being real. Gonna kind of the purpose, I guess, really just I don't really want to talk to them, I'm just gonna talk to you. Part of this was our journey of how we kind of came back together and started this podcast. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be good. Like, you know, it's part of our journey. And we're at part of our journey that we kind of want to share with those of you that have been listening and following us. And kind of share what's going on a little bit. Because I know you like it too. The original, even when the thing was, we thought with the podcast, when we talked about the idea, you're going to be in Colorado and I was going to be here in Illinois and we were going to do that.
Yeah.
Health issues, which was just pretty much, we ended up finding out, we didn't know for sure at what point it was. And after me talking to people that you worked with out in Colorado, they were like really concerned, like, was it cancer? Were you like at the last stages of your life? Like, it was really, really bad.
Yeah, even the doctors like didn't know. And there was a couple things that I was presented with, and when those things dwindled down, it was like one thing left. So yeah, no, it got serious. Like we had to talk with some of my family, just like preparing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah. It was like losing hair and weight and just really bad. Ended up being gallbladder. From what we know so far. That's
gallbladder, but also was affecting my liver function.
Mm-hmm.
And so that also played into it. But with removing the gallbladder, the hope was that my liver would heal itself because your liver's strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing physically good. Physically, like that part of my body, like it finally worked out. It's good.
Yay.
Yeah, no, when I left Colorado, I went on a 7-mile, something like that, hike with my roommate up in the Rocky Mountains. And like after we had finished, she felt fine, but I felt like I was dying.
Oh
and that's kind of what they saw back there too,
right.
Like the aftermath, and they're like, everyone was like, you know, you shouldn't, because just how I've been feeling. Anyways, that was a little.
Yeah.
That's what started it all, and then I was supposed to be here for 2 weeks, turned into like 6 months. And
yeah. So you actually did come home. It was October?
No, September.
Very end of September.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so for those of you that like were listening and stuff, you are unaware like how like we worked it out. Like we actually started videotaping or doing our podcast episodes in November, like right before Thanksgiving. I think we did our first one.
Yeah, something like that.
And then it was like right around Thanksgiving we started recording, and then we continued to record into December, and just actually I think maybe very few episodes into the very beginning of January. So like, spoiler alert, how was your Christmas? If you go back and watch it now, I'm like, Jessica, how was your Christmas? She's like, good! That was way before Christmas. Our
Christmas, New Year's.
New Year's. Oh, Happy New Year! How was it? Yeah, that was back in December. And there's an episode that we have not aired, and I'm assuming we probably will air. And I actually looked back at the date of that, and it will be called like Jessica's POV Addiction, and it was December 21st. So you were here for the end of September, October, November, December, January. 4 months. And now we're into like, today is February 12th. So I don't know when for sure this will be out there for everybody to view and listen to and stuff. But so we got you here to Illinois to feel healthier physically.
Yes, that was
the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming back, you just got put into a lot of rough situations.
Yes, there's. It'll be beneficial to post the point of view for addiction.
I think so too.
As we're going into this, because it'll give a background on to understand maybe why.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's just a lot of family stuff going on, and just family stuff mixed with stress, mixed with like mental illness that I deal with, all of the above, and then throw in like triggering things that bring up traumatic things from when I was younger.
Right.
Throw all of that on top of I had just had surgery and I wasn't able to heal properly. I was very stressed. I wasn't resting. I was going back to like a little small part-time job 2 days after. Like, it was brutal. But so all of that concocted into one, I ended up relapsing. I was given painkillers for my surgery, and everything was fine at first. Like, the first day of the surgery was fine. The second day was fine. Even like the third and fourth day, like that's when I started feeling like the heaviness of everything. And then it was like on a Thursday, I think, I just like, I don't know how to put into words. It's just something like I did it. I don't.
Yeah, no.
I relapsed. And then that started like the drinking again, and it was just something that was just, at first it was, my body was kind of like shocked because I hadn't done it in so long. And then after like doing that a couple times, it was like there was the numbing process again, and that was the reason why I kept going. And then the day after I messed up like bad, and I actually reached out to someone, like I was able to pull my stuff together. I knew it was gonna be rough. I knew the come down of everything was gonna be rough. I was prepared. And then it's like, it's not anyone's fault, but yeah, if I don't just, all right, I messed up, I need to remove myself from the situation and go. If I don't do that, I'll start justifying everything that I do. And because I wasn't babysat the next day, and I was like, all right, no one said anything, it was kind of my own like justification of it doesn't matter anymore. So luckily the pill thing stopped pretty abruptly. It did happen for a little bit, but it could have happened a lot longer. But no, this time around it wasn't so much. Previously, I like the feeling of being high or drunk, just that feeling. And then I'd say previously in the video, like, I like the feeling of being numb, but this time around it was different. I don't know if it's because like I tried a different drug than I had before, it was a different opioid, or if it's just what I've been feeling. I don't know yet, and I plan. This is why this is gonna look like it is now, is because I'm actively getting help. Right. And the people that I have in Colorado are good for me, and we've talked about them before, and I'm sure you'll hear plenty more down the road. But yeah, I'll be able to get help, look into like actually getting therapy and going through things. That's important, and it's just something that people don't talk about enough. Aftermath of like this,
right?
It's more of like maybe not necessarily just therapy, but more of maybe in the Christian community, I should say. It's hard to when you go through this and to be like, all right, go to counseling, go to therapy, let's talk through your problems. There is a bunch of spiritual work I am going to do, and God is going to be the only one that's gonna sustain me through all of this, and right. I absolutely know that. But a part of my work is, I know, even though I wasn't necessarily taught it, I know that I need to get down to the root of it. Right. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at, and that's probably all jumbled and doesn't make sense. So that's awesome.
It makes total sense. No, so with that, like I'm glad you're going back to Colorado. I think this is just for anybody that's listening. Like, when you're in a situation and surrounded by people, and just life too. Like, I think you came back here in this in between like temporary status, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be here. I'm just going to make it work for now. And I think that kind of brought up old habits and in environments that were very similar to when you were like actively using, and you just weren't into a good routine here, and really starting a life. I think it was just in this in between of like, all right, just what to do, and it struggled. And I think it was just a lot. So like you said, like every mixing thing, and getting you back to Colorado where you had stability and good support there. Which, not that you don't have support here, because obviously there's your family, your friends, like your loved ones. It's just different because I feel like you also too like are at this age where you need to start your own life, and you were doing that and you were thriving. We talked about that too. Like, you know, like where in your life have you been thriving? When did you do well, and when were you struggling, and at what point, like, where's it that? And you had mentioned, like, you know, first year of college, you were doing really, really well. And then when you got to Colorado was another time you're doing really well. And I said, that obviously tells you something. So we need to get you back to that familiarity of things. And it's like that, getting that, like I said, explain, like, it's like you have this veil on you now. It's like you're in this little world of this, and you just convert back to this, and it just comes up so quickly. And then all of a sudden you're like, it's like, yeah, a dream or the veil or whatever, and then you're woken back up to life, and you're like, whoa, what am I doing? Why am I here? What am I doing here? Like, this is not who I am truly, and not who I want to be. And it's like you've gotten that wake up call, multiple, like just within the past week, I'd say, and that you realize, like, yeah, you know, and we talked about that, like, how the enemy is at work so much and will continue to be. I was at church this morning, and the sermon was all about hope. And it was, and like there's, I don't know, I should have written down exactly what biblical like thing it was. But oh my God, this is Jessica. Like it was like the enemy will hold on tighter, and like all these things. I'm like, ah. But going and like you said, you're gonna completely have faith in God in this process, but also doing all the other work. And I think talking it through. So that's something Jessica and I talked about. Is like, we're gonna send her to Colorado. We're at this point not planning on necessarily I don't want to try to keep up to try to do this, because I want you healthy more than anything. Like, and I don't know how long that'll take, you know. I'm just like me, like, I want to be good, and when I'm like all situated in life and I'm doing well, then I'll do something. I don't think anybody's ever really well, like, you know, that's life, you know, like we have rough times, but you are definitely in a spot where I want you to focus on you. And I shared, like, with Jessica, but just saying this too, like, I don't know if we'll continue on doing like this, or if you share your journey. I know you're like, I can't do that by myself.
I keep saying, no, we gotta do this. Gotta go back.
We gotta go back, and that could be something. I just feel like this is still part of your story.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I said, it takes huge courage for Jessica to come here, and you know, it's nice because it's just the phone that you're talking to and me right now. But who knows who will listen to this and who needs to hear the message of it's okay to stop and admit stuff and change things and get better. It's okay to, and I said this too, you've talked about how you should run and flee, and you're not running away from this. You're going back to where you were doing well.
I think that's why this feels weird. Because I know I'm not running.
Right.
We've established that. But usually when I do make these moves, there's always some obstacle that was created that I have to go through. This is not, I wouldn't say an obstacle. This is real hard. This is real just life. This is not just gonna go where am I gonna find where am I gonna find to live? Oh, I'm gonna be moving. All right, I gotta find a place to live. I gotta do this. It's not that. I have all of that.
Right.
It's going back and putting my tail in between my legs and basically laying in the bed that I made. And I know that that's harsh, and blunt or whatever, and I know that there's a lot of love and grace through that. I get that. But I think this is the hardest part. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, and if you were a former addict, you know, alcoholic, any type of addiction, you know what I'm talking about. People don't talk about it, but it's not so much, and do not take this wrong or like think I'm saying this like lightly. It's not so much that I did the drugs or I drank. It's not so much that. I know that's bad and I know that's wrong. It's all the damage after of what I did. It's the going to people and saying, this is what I did and I'm sorry. It's going to the people and saying, I lied to you or I didn't say it fully. This is the real truth. It's every integrity that you built up and you pride yourself off of, like your character and like loyalty and principle, which I do, and it's something that I broke. So, and it's something that has to be rebuilt, and it may be bigger in my head than I think. And you know, I may be being too hard on myself, and I get that, but also this is the part that sucks. Like, that's why when your friends or family get out of rehab, that's why they're telling you make sure somebody's with them, make sure you're checking up on them, because once you're out of rehab, once you're taken away from the substance, you're left with what you made. And I know a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, oh, they messed up, they're just an addict, like it's all categorized, like it's not even about the drugs anymore. That's not even the issue. It's
about the thoughts of guilt and like disappointment,
the aftermath, the having to go, like I said, just having to go up to people, like the apologies you have to make. I've already had to do a couple of them. There's more I have to. The hard talks, the family knowing and friends knowing that you're dealing with like suicidal ideations again, because it just unleashes so many things with it. So like and these aren't bad things, but when you've gone through it and you're out of it and you're on the other side, it's hard. It's the, Jessica, are you okay? I'm just making sure, just calling you, are you okay? Okay, well, I saw you post this, are you sure? And then, or, okay, well, you turned your phone off again, I'm just checking on you. Or, like, it's just things like that. Those are all good things, and I'm thankful that I have people like that in my life. But it's also something I worked really, really hard to show people that I was okay. And these are all the things that hurt worse than me actually messing up. Because, like, that was an act. I did it. It's just the
feelings that go with it now.
Yeah, so, like, to any, like, I wish I would have known that. Like, I knew it this time around, but I'm saying from the beginning, I wish I would have known. I'm sure I talked about it in the other one. Like, everything tied with it. Because you can stop doing the drugs. You can sober up, but it's the people, those people in your life that you're gonna have to earn their trust, and that's the hard part. So if that's any help to anyone on why it's not worth it.
Yeah. But I know, and I can't speak through what you're feeling. I can just say that, like, you know, no matter what, we love you. Like, we're not going to. I mean, I guess I can speak for myself. Like, no need to apologize, you know, like, I just want you to be healthy, I just want you to be happy, you know, it's those things, like, you didn't disappoint me, you know, it's really hard. I think more than anything, it's the disappointment that you feel in yourself that would be sad, and like the hope, and the loss of hope for yourself, and that's what the thing is, like, the people that love you have so much hope for you. We just want you to have that same amount of hope for yourself. And we will continue to be there to nag you with texts and letters when you turn do not disturb on. And I'll have to get Casey, give me your info so I can be like, hey, go to Jessica's room. Is it messy? Because she's going through it, right?
No, that's the thing though. It's like I know down the road we're gonna look back at this and be like I'll know how much everyone cared and we'll laugh and
right.
But like
It's hard.
that's like funny, ironic, because everyone from all the states now have come together to make sure I'm good. This is what I'm just like. I am thankful. I'm not saying anything against it, but on the other token, I'm like, what did I do?
You did, because we all are in communication. I need to get Destiny, I need to get Casey, otherwise then we're all in communication together.
No,
Like as a group of warriors.
it's basically, and then I have people threatening, like, if you don't do this, well, I'll call them over there. And then so it's like all these, which again is pretty, like, awesome, I know, because I know not a lot of people get that. Not a lot of people, like, get pushed, and it, like, and I know, and I'm thankful for that.
And pushing, that's the other thing too, is like pushing when we need to.
Yeah.
At least for me, because I know, like if I push too much, it's like, ah! It's like, you'll flee. So it's that subtle nudges that we need to, but this is the best move. So Jessica will be leaving me in like 2 days, and then we'll figure this out. But I don't know, I don't somehow, and I don't know how you can do it, but I want you to document something, like whether you're writing or you're videoing or something, just even for yourself. It doesn't have to be for anybody else. Through this process, because I think just knowing what we've done, and even if it's only been 5 people that watch and listen to us, I know, because I've been told by people that it's helped them. And if we can help anybody anyway, that was our point, that was our purpose.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't want your journey to be on pause until we pick this back up. I want your journey to continue, and then our journey will come back together.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know how we'll air these or whatever. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So until then,
Be safe.
yeah, be safe. What was the other thing we always said?
Wait. Have fun. Be safe. Wait, what did you say on the weekends? Have fun.
Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Yeah. Have a good life. Be safe. Yeah, I couldn't remember. It's been so long.
I got this on a good end.
Yeah. Okay.